Welcome to the Live Your Dreams podcast, where success leaves clues and someone has your answer. Joined as always with my lovely co-host, Miss Tia McKissick.
Hello.
Hey Tia, how was your week?
It was great.
Good. Before we get started, let's help somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, Fund and Grow your business. Hit the link in the description box at the bottom and you qualify for a free funding training. Again, Fund and Grow. Hit the link in the description box. The good people at Fund and Grow will give you a free funding training on how to fund and grow your business. All right. So Tia, you said you had a great week?
Yeah.
All right. So today we're talking about the celebration of life. And I think that's a good topic. And one of the things when you think about celebration of life, I know for me, it means every day, really appreciating your life because one day you're going to be gone. I
don't want to think about that right now.
Right. I know, right? But go ahead.
But you have to appreciate every day and appreciate your loved ones.
Yeah, because one of the things is, and I think that's right when you talk about appreciation of your loved ones, because, again, at any moment, something could happen. Again, I always say we're one phone call away from a tragedy. But you're one phone call away from something good also.
Right.
And that's one of the things where you look at that. I've always liked Stevie Wonder's song, when was the last time that you heard them say or told someone you love them?
Right.
Because you don't know when that last time. So you got to celebrate life and always be thankful for what you have.
Right.
Because sometimes, you think about some of the things you may not have, but sometimes you have to think about the things you do have and really celebrate that because, again, you don't know what tomorrow holds. So when you talk about celebration of life, I mean, that's just a great topic. When I say that, what does that mean to you, Tia?
Just enjoying every day, every moment, and appreciating your family. Especially this time of the year where Christmas is coming, a lot of people get stressed about buying gifts and not having a lot of money. But the thing about it, you should appreciate your family and your loved ones and your children and your health. I mean, that's wealth right there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things when you think about it, and I think you hit it on the head where the holidays for everyone isn't a happy time. Sometimes it can become a very stressful time.
Stressful, you get depressed. And I know when my kids was little, every December I got down and out because it was time to buy those gifts and you wanted to make sure you got everything they wanted and, it was just,
What made you stop being stressed?
Well, as they got older, I said, I'm not going to stress no more. After one time I spent so much money, I spent about $3,000. I said, never again.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things about it is some of the pressure of life.
There's a lot of pressure.
I think we put on ourselves.
Right.
Some of the stressors of life, I think we put on ourselves, and that's stopping you from celebrating life because you're putting so much pressure on yourself. And you look around and say, why am I putting that pressure on myself when I could just enjoy my life?
And I thought about it. I said, when you go out and you spend all this money, you buy gifts, and an hour later after Christmas, they bored or, they forget. A couple months later, they done forgot what they got. A year later, you don't know.
The best tradition I think we've ever started, you and I, when we started going to the movies every Christmas.
Right, I think so. I like that.
I think that was the best thing we ever could have done. And this year, we're going to see, I think it's the Whitney Houston movie.
Right.
But I think every year when we go to the movies, it takes everybody's mind off of gifts or whatever. It just makes we've always spent family time.
That family time, and we take pictures and wear the pajamas and
the day before
play games.
And I think that that really took some of the stress out. The day before, we all get together.
I'm looking forward to that.
And we have fun, play games. The day of Christmas, we go to the movies,
right?
And that doesn't cost any money or anything like that. But it's family, it's fellowship, and I think that's probably you put something in place to take the stress away.
Right.
That unneeded pressure when you talk about buying gifts or whatever it may be, and not saying if you want to buy gifts, buy gifts. Do whatever you want.
Course.
But my thing is, I think it took some of the pressure off of you, where you took the holiday season and took away it's about gifts and put in place it's about fellowship and family.
Right.
And I think even with the Thanksgiving holiday that we celebrate, we've always come together as a family and really celebrate, play Uno, watch movies,
Right.
and we really fellowship.
Right.
You know, and this year, believe it or not, you and I didn't even eat as much.
No.
Because usually we eat, but this year we didn't even eat as much.
We had a lot of food, but didn't eat as much.
And we didn't eat as much. And I think, and for me, you know, I love sweets. I only had one cupcake.
Right.
And for me, that's rare.
But that's a good thing that we getting to the point we're not eating a whole lot.
Yeah. And it's slowly but surely, when you talk about celebration life, especially with weight loss or taking your health back, it's a slow, for me, it's a slow process. And it's something where individuals try to do it overnight. You don't put that weight on overnight.
Right.
So when you try to take it off overnight, that's when you get frustrated and you quit. Mm-hmm. But if you really make it a lifestyle change and you really make those efforts to take your health back and lose the weight, it happens over time. But you got to make sure you're consistent with it. And that's the part of the celebration of life.
And we were just saying, we was talking about your weight loss.
Yeah.
You just consistent with yours, and we trying to be consistent.
Well, believe it or not,
with the walking and going to the gym.
You know, I'm gonna tell you, when you think about the weight loss, I think I got the physical fitness part down pat. Mm-hmm. You know, because I really love it. I mean, it's not like it's a chore no more. I love going to the gym. I love walking every day, but it's the diet that I'm working on. And you know, my father was an alcoholic, and he died of heart failure and 37. I really didn't know him, but one of the things, I have some type of, I don't know if the right word is immunity, but to alcohol. But you know, I could drink like Mai Tai after Mai Tai. But last week, I think on Thanksgiving, I had a drink. We went to a restaurant the other night. I had 2 glasses of wine, but I'm working hard not to even drink anymore, because I think once I stop the alcohol consumption, the weight really going to fall off. Right. You know, because again, I think I'm still the workout part I got down packed, but now it's the diet that I really got to get. And it's and I've you know, really talked about portion size, but I'm starting to think it's really not even portion size, it's what you eat. Yeah. So the sugar and all those bad foods, even if it's small portion, you just stay away from them. So even if it's alcohol, even if you're just drinking a 1 or 2 Mai Tais or the 2 glasses of wine, you know, for me, and I'm just talking for myself, it's almost like I have to stop that in order to really get that true health that I'm looking for. I got to really cut that out. Don't talk about portion size or, you know, some people say moderation, but I think some of that is just some things you just got to leave alone. Right. You know? And I'm working on that. And I'm not saying I'm there.
I'm working on mine too.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm there, but I'm just talking that's one of the things with that. And let's stop right there for our sponsors. And then we'll come back and keep talking about the celebration of life. But Short Child Care, short name, long in service. That was Tom's quote. Short Child Care is working hard to expand. Call the number on the screen. There is a waiting list, but call the number on your screen, because you want to put your child's name on the waiting list, because as Short Child Care expand, they will be opening some slots. And if someone was to leave or depart, they would have a slot also. So put your child's name on the waiting list. Short Child Care, short name, long in service. All right, again, Short Child Care, short name, long in service. That was Tom's quote. So talking about the celebration of life, we were talking about diet, we were talking about things like that. But when you talk about celebration of life, what do you think stops individuals or yourself or myself from really enjoying life and not worrying about some of the things that may not even be important? What stops individuals?
People do worry about money.
Money,
you know, maybe their job, maybe they don't like their job or something like that. And fear.
Yeah. And that's one of the things where, and again, I've been victim of all that.
So but you know, I'm learning, leave the fear alone. You know, we can't escape death. It's going to happen at some point if that's what you fear. You know, so we just got to enjoy life, be positive, and, you know, support each other.
Yeah. And one of the things, if that's a fear, because that is a true fear of death is one of the fears, fear of poverty.
Like, you know, my parents was fearful of going to the doctor, so everybody got different fears.
Yeah, because again, one of the things for me, I guess let's take the fear of doctor. And being married to you, you make me go to the doctor for everything. If my finger turned red, I'm going to the doctor. But one of the things about it is that the doctor saved my life. Because if I wouldn't have found out about the colonoscopy, because now I done had 3 colonoscopies.
Right.
If I wouldn't have found out about the colonoscopies, I probably may not have been here.
Right.
Because my mother, my grandfather, grandmother, my mother died of colon cancer. And again, they found the polyp at 35. They found the first polyp, in me. So just imagine if I wouldn't have went.
I had a polyp too.
Right. So again, if we wouldn't have got those colonoscopies, not going to the doctor, something could have happened. Right. Not saying it would have, but again, it's a great probability.
Right.
The doctor told me that polyp could have turned into something, but if I wouldn't have got that out at 35, and I done had 3 colonoscopies, and if I wouldn't have had that procedure, I may not have been here. So sometimes going to the doctor is a helpful thing. Although they may tell you something you may not want to hear, there is ways that you can actually, once you hear that news or whatever it may be, they can help you with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, but that is a true fear when you talk about the fear of a doctor. But one of the things with the celebration of life, I think getting past those fears, Tia, I think one of the things is by talking with somebody,
And when you have family, it just makes it easier, life.
Yeah.
And the support that you get from your family.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things where family is, if you say, what is family for? But I think family is for that resource to depend on.
That's why I'm thankful I have a family.
Right, because when I'm up and you may be down, we lift each other up. If you're up and I'm down, we lift each other up. Right. So I think it's that balance where we have to lift each other up. So you need that family to kind of help you balance. Does that make sense?
Right. And if you don't have family, your friends can support you the same way.
Absolutely. And one of the things about that, so say for instance, that celebration of life we're talking about, and I've always said that to have friends, you have to be a friend.
Right.
And the more you are a friend, the more friends you'll have. Because that's one of the things you want to do. You want to practice friendship. And then if you're supporting people, and that one time you need support, you'll have somebody there to support you.
Right.
So that's one of the things you want to be as supportive as you can while you're up. Because, again, you never know when that shoe may turn and you may need that support. So you want to definitely be that. So, with Celebration of Life, and this is Live Your Dreams podcast, with Success Leaves Clues, someone has your answer. That's one of the things where we try to, share and be transparent and really help somebody. Because sometimes we may think that I can look at you and I can say, wow, Tia, life is perfect, right? Tia got everything going on. Wow, I wish I was Tia. And you may be going through something.
Right.
And the same thing, you could look at me and say, oh, Maurice got everything going well. Wow. But sometimes you can't look at other people.
No.
When you're celebrating life, it's your life. It's your race. Because you can't wish you was somebody else. You don't know what they went through. Right? You only know what you went through, and you know all the challenges you had to go through. And one of the things about celebrating life is that all the challenges that you went through, everything that you overcame, if you overcame it when you thought it was devastating at the time, that's a success. And what you do is build off of these successes to celebrate life. Because most of the things we were fearful about, and when you and I first got married, I mean, we had nothing. And we were fearful, right? And we look back now, it's like, what were we really fearful about?
If I think of it now, I'm like, I wouldn't have feared.
Right, like what were we fearful about?
Because we got through everything.
Everything, not one thing, everything. Not every other thing, everything. We got through everything. So one of the things is, if you look back, like, why were we fearful? So now you got to say, God willing, we be here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. Why would we look back 50 years from now and say, we shouldn't have worried? So why don't we start today and say, why worry?
Right.
And not saying you don't have any worries or don't have any fears. Not saying being reckless. But what I'm saying is, don't wait to celebrate life. Start today. Tomorrow's not promised. Celebrate your life. Be excited about it. because again, one day it's going to be over. And don't wait, because say for instance, tomorrow, God willing, we're here tomorrow. We're going to look back and say, yesterday, why did I worry?
Right.
Right? But we don't have to wait till tomorrow. We could start right now to celebrate life and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be appreciative for what I have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to appreciate it. And the best way to appreciate, I've learned this, to appreciate something is to help someone else.
Right.
Right? Because again, then you realize what you do have. Once you share with someone else, you realize what you have.
Right.
And you do have a lot. And one of the things about it, that's how you celebrate life, realizing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things also, Tia, I look at your parents when they used to do a lot of family events. They used to do a lot of celebrations.
Right.
And that's one of the things where we try to get together with our children and kind of do a lot of things to celebrate. Right. Because again, we have a lot of things where we could say, let's keep that tradition going. Celebrate life. Because again, one day we're not going to be here no more. And you don't want to wait till tomorrow and have regrets about what you didn't do today. Right?
That's true.
So that's one of the things. So again, celebrating life. And again, Tia, thank you for, like I said, sharing today, because I think that was a great topic. And, you know, that was something where some people need to realize that you have to enjoy your life. You have to really enjoy it. Enjoy the moment, the precious moment.
Right.
Right. Don't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised. Yesterday's gone. Enjoy right now.
Right.
Right. Any closing remarks on that, Tia?
Just enjoy each other and don't stress about Christmas.
You're right. You're right. So you
holiday season.
You stressed enough for everybody, right?
Right.
With that. But you don't do it anymore. Now it's more family. It's more sharing. It's more spending time.
Right.
And it's more really just relaxing and just taking it all in.
Right.
You know, really, and I think that's what the holidays are for, to really appreciate what you have.
Right.
And really, really cherish your family.
Right.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, if you cherish your family and you really enjoy the moment, I'll see you. And yes, I do mean you. Living your dreams. Peace.